Welcome to the Bows. So on Monday, Paulo Costa revealed on social media that he had surgery on his elbow in the middle of his training camp. This was concerning, to say the least. Like me, many fans thought he was going to have to pull out of his fight with Khamzat when they first saw this. Then he jumped on Ariel's show and gave us some more info. Turns out he had bursitis, which got infected with staph. So he had bursitis and a staph infection. Not good. He also said that the stitches had to stay in for 2 weeks, and at this point, Paulo was about a month out from his fight, leaving only 2 weeks to train before fighting. This is a major setback, and most people did not have a lot of confidence in Costa before this information even came out. To be compromised that close before the fight with a guy like Khamzat is tough. Very tough. Since it's an elbow injury, you'd imagine that would affect his ability to throw punches with that arm. Probably couldn't post on that arm during wrestling practice. Maybe couldn't even wrestle at all with that injury. And for the 2-week period when the stitches were in, sparring was completely off the table. He couldn't throw punches with that arm while the stitches were in. So during that 2-week period, he was pretty much restricted to just staying in shape. My guess is he really couldn't work the skills he needed to work completely for a guy like Khamzat during that period when his arm was messed up. It's a shame because after watching his interview, he really seemed focused on this fight. And that's something we haven't seen from Paulo in a while, in my opinion. For the Marvin fight, for the Rockhold fight, I didn't like the headspace he was in. A part of me wants to think he went public with this just to use it as a built-in excuse if the fight doesn't go his way. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because he said he's fighting Khamzat either way. He's not pulling out, and from what it sounds like, the UFC isn't trying to delay this fight either. With that being said, I still have to go with Khamzat in this matchup. Khamzat should be faster and more powerful punch for punch. Of course, he has the grappling advantage, and Costa struggled on the feet with Rockhold. Not a good look, especially this version of Rockhold. If Khamzat loses this fight, then it'll be because of a physicality issue. If Costa wins, I think it'll be because he's just too big, too strong, and too durable for Khamzat. And if that's the case, Khamzat will have to figure out his weight situation to make 170. But I think all of that is highly unlikely. Khamzat should be plenty enough physical for middleweight. A lot of former welterweights who came up had success, Whitaker and Strickland most notably. And don't be surprised when Khamzat and Paulo square off, when they go face-to-face for ceremonial face-offs and stuff like that. Don't be surprised if the size difference isn't so crazy. Paulo is jacked, but Khamzat is a big dude as well. I think once they face off, that'll write off any pre-fight concerns anybody may have about Khamzat at middleweight. Again, this is just tough for Costa. He's in a tough spot. He's coming off a one-fight winning streak against Luke Rockhold, who immediately retired afterwards. And Costa did not look good in that fight, even though he got the win. And before that, he had the loss to Marvin Vettori, where he missed weight by like 20 pounds and had to move the weight for that fight up 20 pounds to 205 from their normal 185. And before that was his loss to Israel Adesanya, which seems like a while ago now, and it was. But Paulo hasn't been that active. Those are his 3 fights that he just last had. I don't like the lack of activity from Paulo Costa. Khamzat hasn't been that active either, but before that he was very active, and he's younger and seems to have all the tools to beat Costa. That's all I got today. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment below what you think about this fight, who you think is going to win this fight, what you think this surgery and injury means for Paulo Costa. Do you think any chance he had coming into this fight is now removed because he wasn't able to train properly? Let me know. See you next time.